it's relevant to know that alcohol problems run in our family, so they go through generations. So there's this family history. How much of that is genetic predisposition, and much of it is learning and the conditions around childhood. These are all open to speculation, but there certainly was a tradition of problematic drinking. And I guess what that does as a child, when there's alcohol in the family and there's alcohol problems in one of the parents, then things which a lot of kids don't get exposed to become normal. And I think for me, those kinds of uncertainties and unpredictabilities in the family unit led to anxiety and fearful approaches. I guess you go into kind of survival mode to some extent, and you develop a vigilance which is emphasized, and hyper-vigilance. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I grew up quite an anxious kid, and a lot of that fear and anxiety, rather than reaching out for help, which I now know as an adult is a healthy response and healthy coping mechanism. I just internalized everything that was going on. It felt unsafe to voice it, and almost as if asking for help would be shameful. So I guess when I got to the age where alcohol was, friends began to drink, and the kind of later years at school, and I became part of that. That there was a fertile ground for alcohol to be doing something to allay some of that anxiety, childhood challenges and difficulties, and a little kid that was not really able to voice and express these anxieties. So when alcohol came along, it was a remarkable soothing drug, and also, as with many people, gave me confidence socially, and it felt. At the time, it felt like a bit of a wonder, although not in the sense of immediately moving to problematic drinking. That wasn't the case. In fact, externally, I think my drinking would have seemed to be pretty limited and fairly normal. I suppose I started drinking when I was about 17, but not regularly, and really didn't start drinking regularly until I was in my mid-20s. So there's if I'd had my problematic drinking happening when I was at university, I think that would have been really difficult. The other thing is that I seem to throw myself into situations which increased anxiety. I think about choosing to go to medical school. I was at a comprehensive school. I came from a family where there was no history of academic achievement or going to university, and the school I was at was an okay school, but it was fairly modest in terms of the achievements of the pupils. So when I decided I wanted to try for medical school, my school wasn't a school that sent its pupils off to be doctors. So there was a kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't describe it as a huge enthusiasm to do it. It was almost a feeling of, well, this is more likely to fail